Hi guys, how are you doing? So I'm very happy to be back with you today for episode 23 of my Inspirations podcast. So that's a podcast about knitting and yarn dyeing, but also lots of other things like crochet this time around. So I'm very happy to be with you in, I think I'm feeling much better. The kids are much better. Thank you so much for those who reached out, who sent me kind words. Was much appreciated. I really wanted, to be candid and have a podcast, although I was not in a stellar mood and shape and well, everything, but yeah, today is much better and I'm happy. I'm happy to be able to record something a bit more normal. So today, what's on the menu? So first of all, general information as usual, that I skipped for the previous episode. Then I'm going to show you the Souvenir Almanac colorway for the month of July. Afterward, I'm going to show you a new base in the shop, and then we'll talk about the projects, the ongoing projects. Okay, so just general information for those of you who are new to the podcast. So I wanted to thank you very much for checking me out. Just a few basic info for you guys. The shop is updated once a week on Mondays afternoons. There is a newsletter that you can subscribe to get to know first what's new in the shop. So the link to subscribe to the newsletter is in the show notes, and has a welcome gift. You receive the pattern for the Jimmy Shawl. Speaking of which, make sure you have the latest version of the Jimmy Shawl by downloading it to your Ravelry library with the code you received in the newsletter. So if you are new to the podcast and you wish to subscribe to the newsletter, you will get the latest version, so no problem. But if you have already downloaded your version of the Jimmy Shawl, make sure to get the latest one, because I corrected a few things, I added a few things, and I made a completely new layout. So yeah, that's cool. The podcast is uploaded once a week on Mondays at 5 p.m. The newsletter is sent once a week at 5 p.m. and the shop is updated once a week, approximately at the same time. And that's it. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I'd like to give you a big virtual hug. Thank you. If you like the podcast, don't hesitate to put a thumb up and to subscribe to the channel to get notifications about the episodes or other things, mainly the episodes, and that's it. And so also, yes, there is also my monthly, that's a permanent KAL that you can enter using either Tricot and Stitch yarn or patterns or both, and you can play along on Instagram by posting a picture of your project with this hashtag, and you can play also on Ravelry, or you can play on both, and the link is in the show notes as well. And that's it. Then for the colorway for July, so I'm very happy to share that with you. The family on my mother's side originally is from the Indian Ocean, so that's Mauritius and Madagascar. My grandmother was from Mauritius and my mother was born in Madagascar, and almost my entire family flew to France when my mother was 17, and they never went back, and myself never went there. I'll go one day, but I'm part, afraid, part I wish I would, but to me it's very far away, and I don't feel like I belong really, because my family's been in France for so long. I've never been there, and but I really would like to get to know more about the place. We have a bit of family left there, but I mean, we got too far apart and we don't really are in contact anymore, but there is a whole part of my family history linked to those beautiful islands. And one thing I remember dearly from my grandmother, my late grandmother, is that she had this beautiful collection of seashells, of very large and big seashells that she collected when she was younger and lived in Mauritius and Madagascar. And it was really for her souvenirs of her life there. And I remember the big seashells in her flat when I was little, and I would be fascinated by them. And it was like just a tiny bit that linked them and me to that part of our family and of our family history. And really, to me, this part of my, you know, heritage and is really just bits and pieces, recipes, stories that my mother told us and my grandmother told us, and images of things we never seen, me and my sisters, with our own eyes, actually, just memories and stories and beautiful seashells. So the colorway I created this month is inspired by those seashells. So this is a little bit of inspirations for you guys, but it's not actually what drove me. What drove me was really the memory of a souvenir seashells. To me as a child, they seem gigantic, very large, and now as an adult they were still very large, but not so much and not so magical, but still a very dear memory of my late grandmother and of a beautiful island. So here is the colorway. I decided to call it Beach Treasure, and I love it. It's very tender. You can see the pinks and beautiful beige and pale yellow of the seashells, and also the part with more brown, yes, and warm tones of some of their shells. So I'm going to show them to you on each base. So the first one is on BFL, and it starts as a very light cream base, and I put some layers that go from brown to different shades of pink, with again a very light yellow center, and then I put a lot of speckles of the same shades. So this is on my new base Extra Thin Fingering High Twist. And just a note on that base, last week I told you that it was, you know, second cousin once removed of Extra Thin Fingering, my Extra Thin Fingering base. There is one noticeable difference. It's only 360 meters for 100 grams, not 400 meters like the Extra Thin Fingering. So that's one difference, but it is otherwise very close. And yeah, you can see that that type of base with the high twist takes the dye, and the nylon content, I'd say, takes the dye very differently from the BFL. It takes the dye more intensely, and this is more subdued, more pastel, more faded. The colors fade into one into the other, whereas on another base, for example on MCN, it's much more visible. You have lace fading, and the colors are more visible. So this is on MCN, It's gorgeous as always. I love this base. This is on Stellina, a bit as the same behavior as the extra thin fingering high twist. And this is Lurex, gorgeous as always. So the colorway is available in the shop. I dyed a lot of them. There is a very limited amount of BFL available this time around because BFL is out of stock at my suppliers, and I don't think I will be having any more of them until September. But there was one base I wanted to bring in the shop, and that's the Polwarth, New Zealand Polwarth I wanted to test. So it's 100% New Zealand Polwarth, and it's a great alternative to the 100% BFL. It has this woolly feeling with a different base for the color. You see, this is BFL, this is Polwarth. So BFL is more cream and Polwarth is more white. And if you want to try it out, I will have some Beach Treasure available on Polwarth as well as the extra thin sock 3-ply that I didn't show here. So there will be 7 bases available in total for this colorway. And yes, this is new in the shop and I hope you like it. I tried it a few months ago. Yeah, a few months ago. It takes the dye very intensely and it's lovely, and I like the woolly feeling of it. It's completely superwash. Then I chose the pattern for this month, and again what guided me in the choice of the pattern was a technical aspect of the sock. It's called the Guettari Socks by Inky Atelier. It's available both in French and in English. And what I liked about this pattern is that the designer invented a heel, especially to have more room for the fit at this at the place of the heel. So for people with, you know, a large width of a large feet circumference, just at the heel level. It's much more roomy and it's quite lovely actually. You can see the picture here. So it's an adventure. It's still another heel technique to discover, something to have. I don't know if maybe it's not a problem that everyone has to get a bit more room at the heel. But I know it's a problem that a lot of knitters experience, not even more for short row heels. So this one is especially made to get that feeling of being at ease in your socks and not having the stitches, you know, being stretched just around the heel part of the sock. So I hope you will wish to, you know, try it. And I love the stitch pattern. Actually, I knitted a pair of socks using the same stitch pattern a few years ago, and I love that stitch pattern so much. It's perfect for variegated yarn, so that's perfect for this month's colorway. Okay guys, so that was the Sock Knitters Almanac / new base in the shop. And now I wanted to share with you a bit of my ongoing projects. So the first one is Jimmy. I didn't make much progress. I'm almost to the first stripe. I think I did, I'm at row 60, if I'm not mistaken. But I told you already that so the Jimmy Shawl is the shawl that you get when you subscribe to the newsletter, and there is an ongoing KAL. It started on June the 16th and it ends it's on Instagram. You can play along with this hashtag. There are prompts every week. You can check the prompts on my blog, The link is in the show notes or on my Instagram. There are very fun prompts to share your Jimmy and your progress on Instagram until July the 31st. And then you have until September the 30th to enter a drawing with prizes to win. So I think I'm going to show you the prizes, to present the sponsor and show you the prizes starting next episode. I gotta write this down not to forget. Okay, so that was those are my progress on this pattern. So I'm using one of my precious kits. So I'm using Merkit fingering with the Hebrides colorway, and the Sous-Bois colorway on the Yak and Silk fingering base. It's dreamy. It's totally dreamy. I love that so much. So those are my progress. I changed the center increase. It was a very specific increase. I think it was double centered increase, and I changed for a yarn over knit yarn over, 3 stitches in 1. And I think I'm going to continue hacking the pattern completely, and I'm actually going to knit a completely different shawl. not you know, it will be very close to Jimmy, but it's not Jimmy anymore, and I think it's going to be named Kevin. Why Kevin? Well, because one thing you don't know about my dyeing sessions is that for the past month and a half, I think I've been dyeing watching Ghostbusters, the latest one, the one with the women. And I am just a huge fan, okay, of the movie. I can't stop laughing. Each time I watch it, I discover something a bit more, a little gold nugget, a snippet of dialogue here that is completely crazy, and I love it so much. And well, if you know the movie, you know Kevin, okay, so that's Kevin. And I cannot tell you why, but while I was knitting on that, I was telling myself, okay, this is not Jimmy anymore, really. I think it's not Jimmy anymore. If you're going to change all that, it's not going to be Jimmy anymore. So how am I going to call it? And then Kevin. It was like obvious. So that's Kevin. Meet Kevin. And I love that movie so much. Even, you know, the guided tour of the Aldrich Mansion at the beginning. I mean, if you listen to the tour, what the guide says, actually, it's crazy. Or when the mayor discusses with his assistant. I mean, what kind of chit-chat is that? Okay, it's just like each time I watch it, I find something new and something very funny, and I love the actresses, and I mean, it's crazy. I love it. So yeah, most of the yarn of the past 6 to 8 weeks was dyed listening to the movie, because I'm actually not watching the movie while I'm dyeing, because I can't, otherwise it would be, you know, mayhem. But I'm listening to it, and I think I know most of it by heart now. And it's such a good movie. So yeah, Kevin it is. So if you're like me, you are just getting a bit excited about what's next. So I think it's going to be garter stitch, the first, you know, stripe, and then I might just go wild and change things. And I might publish a new pattern, or I might add a little Kevin part to the Jimmy pattern. Okay, while I'm thinking about it, have you seen my gorgeous, gorgeous sweater? It's my friend Letitia. She actually knitted me a sweater for my birthday. Can you believe that? It's the first time ever somebody knits me something for my birthday. I think my other grandma knitted me pullovers and lots of sweaters, but she was the only one to ever knit me a sweater, and Letitia, she knit me a sweater. It's by a French designer called Marie-Melade, and the sweater is the damask, and it's using my hand-dye yarns. It's the colorway that I love, Cocktail by the Pool, and this is another colorway called Juste ce qu'il faut. And I love this Cocktail by the Pool colorway so much. I can't wait to have new polish. I'm going to buy new polish soon in neon colors, and I can't wait to have it to, you know, be matchy with the with the sweater. And I actually love this colorway because it was one of the first one that I dyed when I started working for myself back in 2019, and I still love that colorway so much. And you know, Laetitia is a very good friend, and when I a few episodes ago I started working on a rocket tee that I started last year with this colorway, Cocktail by the Pool, and I was like, I love this colorway so much, and it's really a seasonal thing actually. I really love this colorway when summer is near, and it's, you know, Cocktail by the Pool. I mean, it's a summer thing. And so I was really enjoying working on that project again, and it hadn't seen the sun like in months. And I showed it to Laetitia and I said, look, I'm working on that again. And she's like, no, you're not. I mean, and she told me she was knitting something for me with the same colorway, but that happens every time with her. I mean, I'm like, okay, this is what I watched 2 days ago. And she's like, no, I watched that 4 days ago. And it's like the very obscure reference to some 80s movies that you have no chance of watching. I mean, no chance at all. But it's like that with her. We're always, you know, connected in some way, I don't know why. So I wasn't surprised when she told me she was knitting something for me using the same colorway I had just taken out of the drawer of forgotten things. Okay. I have a lot of forgotten projects hanging around, waiting for me to pick them up again and add a few rows, and then back in forgotten land, forgotten drawer. So thank you so much, Laetitia. Again, I said it in the French version, I'm going to say it again in the English version. Thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful present, and I love it. I really love it. Okay, and the last project I wanted to share with you is the gorgeous crochet project on which I'm working. So my pile of squares is growing very slowly, but still it's growing. So this is my pile of squares for the floral diamond jumper. And I have a strategy to, you know, I've changed my way of doing them. I'm actually doing all the centers at the same time. Then I'm doing all the flowers, all the different colors. And then I'm adding the outer ring. And you can see for the pink center, I have 4 done and 4 other waiting the outer yarn, the outer color. So it might take me years to complete this project, but I don't mind because it's such a pleasure to work on it, and I'm really enjoying it big time. So I don't mind. I don't mind. I just hope the size I'm making right now will fit me in like 5 years, but otherwise it's fine. So this is for this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm going to wish you a lovely week. Just a few words about the advent calendars. They're going to be, if you sent me an email saying me that you wanted an advent calendars a few weeks back, you're going to receive on Tuesday, next Tuesday, so that's tomorrow for you guys actually. You're going to receive tomorrow an email inviting you to a private sale of the advent calendars that's going to take place on the 3rd of July. So watch your inbox tomorrow. And then the other advent calendars that won't have been sold because I have a bit more than what was asked for will go in the shop on the 5th of July. So watch your inbox. If you sent me an email saying you wanted an advent calendar, watch your inbox tomorrow, and if you don't have anything by Wednesday morning, just drop me an email, okay? And let me know, and I will get back to you very quickly. Okay guys, that's it for this week. I wish you a lovely week, and I will see you next Monday.